Hello and welcome to Eat Clean 22. So today's recipe is a delicious lentil salad that can stand alone as its own meal because the protein content is relatively high, so it's a great vegetarian option. It can also be paired with a vegetable if you want, so you still have a fairly large serving of this lentil salad and a vegetable, for example the asparagus that I made just recently in Eat Clean 21. Or if you choose to pair it with a protein, you can also do that depending on what your individual protein needs are, what your opinion is on eating meat, etc. So lots of options with this meal, but again, it is a delicious standalone meal. So whether you're using this as a standalone meal or as a complement depends on how far the servings go, but what I'm showing you is going to be somewhere between probably 6 to 8 servings worth, maybe as much as 10 if you're just doing it for a small little add-on. You are going to need 2 cans of lentils, 1 can of corn. Most of the time when I'm using lentils, I like to cook them from scratch, but in this case I do find that the canned lentils work really well in this recipe. They just have the right texture. You need some feta cheese, probably about 180 grams worth. You're going to need 3 large tomatoes, 1 pepper, doesn't matter what color, and you're going to need probably about 3 to 4 green onions. For the actual dressing, you're going to need some oregano, a little bit of garlic, again fresh, or you can use the prepared, lime or lemon juice, again fresh, or you can use prepared, depends on what you have on hand, how busy you are, and you're also going to need some olive oil. So get those things together, and I will show you how easy it is to prepare. Jake's going to help, right, buddy? Okay, so here we are. We're going to put everything together. Hold on one second. You can do that in a minute. Just one quick note. If sodium is an issue for you, high blood pressure, whatnot, what I'd really try to do with this recipe is try to make sure now you can get unsalted corn, unsalted canned lentils, so aim for that option. There is salt, I forgot salt and pepper as well you need for the dressing. If you want to cut down on the salt, you can do so. It's still, the feta cheese has quite a bit of a salty flavor to it and lots of salt in it, so you don't need as much salt necessarily that we're going to do today. So, for the actual dressing, first thing you need is a ½ cup of your fresh, or you can just use in the bottle lime juice. Do you want to go ahead and pour the rest of that in? So you've got that in. Then we're going to do 4 tablespoons. Get ready to hold it, Jake. 4 tablespoons of oil. Hold this up for me. And scoop it. And scoop it in. So 4 tablespoons of oil. There's 1. Okay, you do the next ones. You hold. Hold it flat. 2. Oh, make sure it goes in there. 2. You go ahead. You go ahead. And 3. And here's the 4th one here. So there's our 4 tablespoons of oil. Yeah, just don't scoop it out. We want to. Then you want 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'll pour it and then you can put it in. About 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of pepper. Can you hold on? Okay, so I'll dip it, you scoop it. There's 1.
You dip it, you scoop it.
And there's 2 teaspoons of pepper. Oops. Beep, 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 beep. We're going to do approximately 2 teaspoons. Whoop, a little bit more there of oregano. Lots of oregano won't hurt you. We'll do a little bit less than 1 in this one. So 2 teaspoons of oregano. Go ahead. And then we're going to do the equivalent of 2 cloves of garlic. So in this case, whoop, I'm going to need that. I need that teaspoon. Actually, it's a little bit dirty. I'm going to rinse that. Let me rinse that. And then 1 teaspoon will be the equivalent of the garlic that we want. Now I'm going to get my trusty assistant to mix that while I put together all the other ingredients for the salad. So it's already pre-chopped. You've got your 2 cans of lentils in here. We're going to add our 1 can of corn, so that's approximately a cup to a cup and a half
some corn.
of corn. You can have some in a second. You've got your feta cheese we're adding in there.
Mommy, can I stop that, Mommy?
We've got our, what are these, Jake? Peppers next. Peppers next. And what are these? Tomatoes next. So those are 3 tomatoes, 1 pepper, about 180 ounces of feta cheese, and then I've got 3 chopped scallions here. So I'm going to grab a large spoon. I'm going to mix that all together. I'm going to do a really good job of mixing up our dressing. And we'll mix that all together and we're going to have a delicious, super simple lentil salad. Okay, so the salad is all mixed up. Now I'm going to add in the dressing. I'm mixing it up a little bit as I go. And then I will mix that all up. So in this, don't do that please, hon. In this recipe, if we want to think about the components of what are in here, our veggies, of course, are the tomatoes and the peppers and the green onions. The corn and lentils function as a bit of a starchy carb, but the lentils also kind of do a double whammy. They're your protein source, as is the feta cheese. So we do have a nice complete meal here. And like I say, we can do this as a main meal. You can do it as a side, or you can pair it with more vegetables if you are a vegetarian.
Be quiet.
So here we go, delicious meal. You can portion that out how you want. Again, if you're using it as a standalone meal, I'd probably recommend 1.5 to 2 cups of that. If you're using that just as a, hold on a second, Jake. If you're using that just as a side, you might do 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup, depending on whether you're using this to starch carb or a protein, and of course, depending on what your goals are. Do you want to have a taste, Jake, and let us know how it tastes? Ready? Okay, bud. Let's taste it. Let me know what you think. Taste test. What do you think?
Good.
You like it? Can you smile at the camera and say, so good?
So good.
Awesome. Thank you.